Yo, what is up? Welcome to the Season 14 Split 3 Urgot patch 14.19 rundown. I'll get right to it, guys. Urgot is a lot worse in this new split. All legendary items have been nerfed, but the bruiser items have been nerfed the hardest by far. So all bruisers just kind of suck now. Additionally, 3 of the hardest nerfed items are Black Cleaver, Sterix, and Stridebreaker, which were Urgot's core. Sterix especially has been turbo gutted. The shield is around 1.2k on 4 items or 4000 HP now, when it was the same value on just 2 items last patch. I think it's only good as a 5th or last item now. It doesn't even feel good on 4th. So what's the new build? Black Cleaver into Overlord's Bloodmail, into Heartsteel, into Tank item, into Sterix. Black Cleaver lost 15 AD, which does suck, yeah, but because of the tank meta, you still need that armor pen, and it's still a good first item. Overlord's Bloodmail and Heartsteel are the new Urgot tech. Bloodmail is one of the only bruiser items that barely lost any gold value, and the rest of the bruiser items kind of just suck now in comparison. Since the bruiser items are so bad, and the tank items are so OP, we can go 2 bruiser 80 items before building into tank. This is why we go Heartsteel third. Heartsteel basically didn't get nerfed, and the HP synergizes really well with Bloodmail. It also gives you good offensive and defensive power with good scaling. And you might ask, isn't going at third too late? But don't worry. Even though you start stacking it later, the damage and HP that Heartsteel gives you scales with the total HP from your items. So building it on third, it's still pretty solid. However, if they have a lot of percentage HP champions like Brand or Kai'Sa, I would probably skip Heartsteel for another resistance tank item instead. After those core 3 items, we can flex into situational tank items. I've been really liking Unending Despair 4th. It synergizes very well with all the other HP stacking items you have. Jackshow is also solid if you need both resistances. If you need anti-crit, Branduin's, and if you need anti-heal, Thornmail is really good this patch as well. As for magic resist, I think Kanik is better than Force of Nature now. Force of Nature lost a lot of value compared to Kanik's nerfs, and it's just better because of all the HP stacking. What about Hullbreaker? Hullbreaker got a range buffed and a lot of HP, but it lost 25 AD, which is a significant amount. It's not bad, but because I think Hullbreaker is only good on your first item, I just don't think it's viable. Black Cleaver is still better. As for boots, Merc Treads is just dead, guys. 1300 gold, that's like half an item. Urgot can E-buff for most CC anyways. I think you should almost always go either Swifties or Tabbies if they're 3+ 80 champions. I'm also not a big fan of Symbiotic Souls, but that's just me personally. As for runes, the primary page is still the same. PTA with Triumph, Bloodline, and Cutdown will almost always be your primary page go-to. But for your secondary page, I think Conditioning and Overgrowth is the new king. With all the health you stack from Bloodmail and Heartsteel, Conditioning will give you a lot of resistances to back up that HP since you don't build much resistances building all that HP until 4th item. And of course, Overgrowth will just synergize even further with that build. With this page, you can also opt to take 2 health scaling shards instead of 2 adaptive force shards if you're versed like a tank lane or an easy lane that you can scale in for free. But this is just up to personal preference. You can still take 2 adaptive force if you like. If you're versed a range champion with a heavy range comp on top of it, you can still take boots with approach velocity. However, I think with the nerf of Stridebreaker, and since you build it less frequently now, approach velocity has lost a lot of value. But like I said, if you are versed a primarily range comp that doesn't build any armor, so you don't need the armor pen from Black Cleaver, you can just skip Black Cleaver, build Stridebreaker first item, and take this rune page, and you will still feel really good. To cap it off, Urgot is definitely weaker this patch. But with his new build, he's definitely viable. He'll play more like a frontline tank raid boss now, rather than a primary bruiser carry. Into heavy melee, tank, and engage comps, he will still excel just as hard, but he will really struggle into heavy range and hyper-scaling comps. He'll be a lot weaker into them. He won't have enough AD to solo carry fights, and if they lock hyper-scalers like Kai'Sa, Brand, Karthus, that kind of thing, or just champions that can build percent HP, they can easily bypass your health stacking with penetration in the mid to late game, and you won't be nearly as tanky as you think you are, even with 5000 plus HP. Additionally, with Merc Treads being so bad and Sterix being a last item now, we will also basically have 0 tenacity for the entire game, so positioning will be even more critical this patch. Alright, that's it for the patch rundown, guys. Please let me know what your thoughts on Urgot are this patch and how your games have been going. Peace out, and good luck in your games, guys.